We have episode 4 of the Red Ranger becomes an adventurer in another world, and this episode made me hate one of the characters so much because it's a trope that we always see, but I generally just hate this character now and just the way that they think. But check out the review because I'll reveal who it is. They annoy the shit out of me. So last episode we left off with the 4 main characters, which is Taltina, Red, Yidara, and Lo. They've been rescued by the resistance of the actual city, and they're saying that, look, we want to take down the evil lord, we want to win this and get the town back, etc. That's the main thing. But obviously, because they're on the same side, the entire resources that they have will be given to Red and his team, which I generally thought was kind of really cool in this, because it's nice to actually have them all work together rather than like have another force outside not being able to do anything. We find out a little bit more about the evil lord's type of rules and stuff that they set in. So it literally says, like, you do not defy the Lord, do not speak ill of the Lord, do not speak of the Lord to others, light crimes, acute whipping, do not disturb the town's peace, do not fight among yourselves, do not leave the home after 8 at night. And when reading this, I generally was just like, what the actual fuck? Like, it seems like this lord wants to rule everything. Everyone has to be quiet. You're not allowed to have anything going on. You can't speak to anyone. And it feels like he just wants to either take money, or something like that, I'm guessing, or just rule over this place. And that really did kind of frustrate me, because I know that he's a bad guy, I know, but it just feels like these rules are really shit, and like no one can defy him whatsoever. They all have to be yes people. And I can see why the resistance is there to obviously beat them and try and take them back. But obviously when you've got these like massive guards, like monsters that can appear out of nowhere, then obviously it's going to ruin it. They do kind of mention in this, like, why don't you just move to another place? Why aren't you in the city? And we kind of have an explanation saying we're outside the city. Magic doesn't actually work outside the city, so they can't teleport these monsters in and stuff like that, which again is fair. Like, could you imagine if they were just teleporting in randomly and just absolutely destroying them? It wouldn't be the best thing, and obviously there has to be some sort of limit to this sort of power. The team kind of really start thinking of new things, and this is one thing that got me. Like, they want to use the giant robo to attack at times, but the thing is, could they just use individual parts? They don't need it to be like a massive, like, giant robo combined. And Red goes through things of like, maybe if we're outside the city, we can snipe him and take him out, but there's a barrier and stuff like that, so that wouldn't work. Or that they could land in the city and fight. Yidara turns around and says, well, the first one wouldn't work because you would destroy the entire city straight away. And the second reason is because it would flatten the town. So I generally thought, why don't you just use the robos as individual parts? Why don't you use the bird to swoop in and take him down or something like that? That might work, but obviously, it wouldn't be really nice for the story because it'd be an easy thing to do, and it's kind of Now, this is where I start hating one of the characters. You have Red and Lo, and they're starting to kind of like, they won't work together. Like, Red's like, yeah, definitely I'll learn to fight, I want to work with you. But Lo is constantly going, no, I don't want to work with you. I don't want to fight with you. And this is what really started to annoy the crap out of me. It just feels like Lo is constantly going against Red. Like, no matter what you say or do, it's no, I'm not going to work with him because I want to be the hero to Taltina. And I get that you want to, and I get that, but it gets old when you are just instantly turning around saying, like, no matter what I do, I will not work with you because you are effectively a threat, when obviously he is not. And that's what really irritates me. So they kind of come up with a plan. He's like, oh, I'm not going to join Red. And then you have Taltina saying, like, look, I will clean your ears, your head will be on my lap. And he's like, right, let's do it. Let's get there straight away. Let's fight together. So now we come to probably one of the lewdest scenes in this anime, and it's a bath scene with Yidara as well as Taltina. And they're talking about different things happening, such as like how Ydra sends like reports on magic to the main city so that can read over it, which I generally thought was really cool. But we also have the thing of like, what's the relationship between each of the characters? And they don't really kind of go into it that much. It's kind of like skipped over. We find out that they are the same age. And I love the one thing that made me laugh in this. They mentioned that their bodies are completely different. And Taltina just looks up at Ydra and you just see that naturally her bust is a lot bigger. So this is the part which really annoys me. Red is going for a bath and Taltina is there talking to him. Lo eavesdrops on the conversation and Taltina says like, I feel good that you're here. Please look after us. Please look after us and protect us. Now, this is just a normal thing with a lot of anime characters when they go to other characters and say, look, I need your help. Please stick about. Could you really just help us out? There we go. And protect us. And Lo absolutely hates this. So when Red jumps into the bath with Ydra there, they're like, what? And that part made me laugh because they're just checking each other out now, completely naked in front of each other. But Lo takes the bond plate from Red. And it's more like, why are you doing this? Why? And it's the fact that you're all working together and your jealousy is pissing me right the fuck off because why are you doing this? You're on the same side. She is your princess. You shouldn't be going against her. And I generally thought much later on that this is going to bite him in the ass much later on because it would make sense. So it comes to the next day. They've infiltrated the manor where the evil lord is and they're about to fight, but Red obviously doesn't have his bond plate to transform. He does all the motions of being able to transform, but doesn't actually do it. And I was like, oh man, like this is really crap. Like what's going on? But Lo is like, what's happening? Like, why can't you transform? What's going on? And Red gets knocked out straight away. And I was just like, what the fuck? Like, this shouldn't be a thing. Like, you need to work together. So Red kind of has a flashback of them, of Silver, which is one of the newer characters. And I think that this is also voiced by the voice actress who plays Gokai Yellow. So in this flashback, Silver is saying like, not everyone can form bonds. Some bonds kind of fail, some bonds kind of get rusty, etc., etc. And after you hear the word Silver, what made me laugh was that Ydra has saved Red. And she's talking about the first time that she's kissed him. Like, obviously her magic didn't heal him. So she basically gave him mouth to mouth. And that was her first kiss. And Red's just completely oblivious to this, which I was like, okay, that's a little bit funny. What annoyed me is I didn't really give a shit about Lo's backstory because of the way he is. I lost complete interest in the character straight away because of the way that he is. Now, if I like a character, I'll watch the backstory, but I hate this jealousy straight away. It just annoys the shit out of me. Now, one of the cool things that Lo has is he has a heavenly sword. He has no mana whatsoever, so this sword works with him. He's able to kind of change it into different elements like earth, fire, water, wind. Soon he'll be able to summon Captain Planet when he can. But effectively, he can use it and he takes down these monsters really, really quickly. Now, I thought that was pretty cool. I like the animation. But I generally would have liked that the sword wouldn't react to him to some degree because of the way that he's treated Red and that, obviously he's kind of fucked his friend over or his acquaintance, whatever you want to do. In the end, he gets absolutely beaten the shit out of because even though he's beating these monsters, he leaves Taltina open so the monsters can go there. So he tries to protect her, he gets beaten up, and thus therefore the others come in, create a mana shield that obviously no mana can get out, but the monsters start beating it. This is where we get a little bit more of like, hey, like you'll always be there type thing, which it's not that good to me. All the way through, Ydra is going like, can we hurry this up because this is not working that well? And the barrier kind of cracks and everyone works together. They find out that Lo took the bond plate and Red thinks it's like, oh, you wanted to transform, didn't you? That's what you wanted. But yeah, that didn't kind of work. And everyone's like, why did you take it? And I really want more repercussions to happen in the next episode because of this. But Red and Lo team up. They work really, really well together. They're using weapons, they're using their abilities, and I thought this was really, really cool. Now, the episode leads off on a little bit of a cliffhanger. The Mana Seed has made this massive meteor or comet thing, or a giant ball, which is going to destroy the city. I think they're going to use the giant robo to defeat this, which would be working really well, and the bonds will get more stronger, and then Lo will work with Red, even though multiple times in this episode he said he's not going to do it. Yeah, fair enough. understand this. But yeah, it ends right there and we're waiting for the next episode. And I kind of really want to see this. This episode I generally really liked. I thought it was a fantastic one, but I just generally hate Lo. I hate this whole mentality that he needs to be the only one in Teltina's life. And it's just a really shit trope that I think needs to slowly move away. It really irritates the fuck out of me all the goddamn time. Now, do I think that at the very end of this series they'll become friends? Yeah, something will happen. Red will save Teltina and Lo will be like, you've done a good solid. I'm sorry that all this has happened. I'm now going to work with you. And thus, therefore, they have a team. Now, one thing I would really like is that Silver joins the team, gets reincarnated back into this world or whatnot. That would be really, really kind of cool. But yeah, this episode isn't that bad. It's great for the story, it adds more to it, but I feel like there needs to be a consequence. If there isn't, I'll be really, really annoyed. But yeah, what did you think about this episode? Did you like it? Did you not? Let me know down below in the comments. While you're down there, why not hit the like and subscribe button? I'm trying to reach 21,000 subscribers by the end of April, so all the help would be absolutely amazing. So please like and subscribe. And if you want, check out the channel memberships and the Patreon. Thank you very much for listening and watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. I want to say a big thank you to all my Patreon supporters, and I wanted to shout out Kimono Cat. Your help goes a long way to help support the channel, and if you want to help support the channel, the links to my Patreon and channel memberships are listed below in the description.
あらあら、チャンネルをサポートしてくれてありがとうございます。チャンネル登録、高評価お願いします。以下のリンクから商品を入手することができます。